Hello, I'm Dr. Triplet from the biology department, and it is my honor to introduce Kristen Carlisle, who is an undergraduate student in the biology program and the pre-health and professional program. And Kristen has been working in the JSU herbarium for the past year or so now. And last summer, she got the opportunity to do some research funded through a program that ultimately got its money from NSF. It was funding for research experience for undergraduates and specifically for women in science. And so she's going to talk about one part of the research she was doing at the herbarium. So Kristen.
As Dr. Triplet mentioned, I had the opportunity to participate in this research program associated with the JSU herbarium, and I did many different things in this program, including databasing as well as learning many different techniques for analyzing phylogenetic data. And so for the purpose of my research that I did, part of it, was to do a molecular phylogenetic analysis of the Sasa bamboos to ask the question, are the Chinese and Japanese species related through a common ancestor? In spite of their ecological and economic importance, bamboo remain relatively poorly understood group of plants, and in particularly, the names of the bamboo are based on outward appearance or morphology. This is an example of the basis of naming a plant on morphology. Sasa is a Japanese plant, and Sasa was also refers to a Chinese plant, and Chinese Sasa was discovered after the Japanese Sasa, and because of the morphological similarities, people just assumed that, hey, this is part of the Sasa genus. So basically, in outline, I'm going to review a current phylogenetic research in the bamboo and give you a brief description of the different bamboos. And I'm going to discuss the testing the monophyly of the Sasa bamboos. So bamboos belong to the grass family known as Poaceae. They are the only major group of grasses that have diversified in forests. This is an example of a bamboo forest. These forests actually pretty much dominated America when settlers first arrived, and they were cut down. And there are approximately 1,400 species, 115 genera, and most people think that bamboos are going to be more found in Asia. However, they are worldwide, and they are both tropical and in temperate zones. And even though that there's a significant ecologically and economically, they're important, they're taxonomically complex. And the big difference between bamboos and the other species in the grass family are the presence of strongly asymmetrically invaginated arm cells in the leaf mesophyll located right here. These are examples of arm cells. And the talk, of course, focuses on the Sasa bamboos, and Sasa is the Japanese word for bamboo grass, referring to the relatively small understory of bamboos in contrast to the giant timber bamboos that you may see around here. The name is used for a genus of plants native to Japan containing approximately 40 species. Sasa species are distinguished by single branches per node, relatively large leaves, and 6 stamens, versus 3 in other related bamboos. And this is one example of a Japanese Sasa, and this is Sasa vichii. And in more recent years, Sasa has been discovered, or a new species of bamboo has been discovered in China, and some of these are morphologically similar to the Sasa of Japan, and so they were just classified in that genus. And the taxonomy of these plants has not been tested using molecular phylogenetic data, and so that's the purpose of this research. And Sasamorpha includes species in Japan, Korea, and China that are similar to Sasa in general morphology. Recent molecular data has confirmed that they are a distinct lineage, meaning that they are not a form of Sasa. recent molecular data has also shown that Sasa morpha and Sasa hybridize in the wild to produce a number of different taxa. Sasa, also known as the little sasas, consists of approximately 12 different species from multiple origins. Pleoblastus and Sasa hybridize multiple times, creating multiple species. And molecular data has confirmed that these plants are of hybrid origin involving Sasa and unrelated bamboos in the Japanese genus Phylloblastus. So the objective of the current research was to test the monophyly of Sasa bamboos, in particular to test whether the Chinese and Japanese species are related through a unique common ancestor. Alternatively, the Chinese Sasas may represent a distinct lineage of plants, or they may be the product of hybridization. Methods included taxon sampling from representatives of woody bamboos with an emphasis on the Sasa bamboos, including Sasa, Sasa, and Sasa morpha. And we also looked at the phylogenetic analysis of 2 nuclear loci, including PV cell 1A and PV cell 1B. So basically we took the genetic information and we aligned it, and through MEGA we created trees to show the evolutionary history of the Sasas. And we saw that the Sasas from Japan were created a single clade, and the Sasa morphas created a single clade, and that Sasa actually from China fell in multiple different clades. And we also noticed that Sasa chinuanensis fell out in the Sasa morpha clade, indicating that Sasa chinuanensis is actually a Sasa morpha. This is the results from PV cell 1B, and we pretty much saw the exact same information, that the Japanese Sasas formed a single clade, that the Sasa morpha formed a clade, including Sasa chinuanensis, and that the Chinese Sasas formed individual clades. So in conclusion, the Chinese plants classified in the genus Sasa are not in fact related to the Japanese plants. As you can see, they form a distinct set of clades down here. And the sampled Chinese species of Sasa form at least 4 distinct lineages, each of which could be assigned its own scientific name. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And at least one species, the Sasa chinuanensis, should be classified in the genus Sasa morpha. Additional testing will be necessary to identify the closest relatives of Chinese Sasa. However, it is clear that they are not part of the Sasa in the strict sense of the Japanese Sasa. I would like to thank my advisors, Dr. Triplett, Dr. Trifus, and Dr. Case. I would also like to thank CREU, CRAW, and Jacksonville State University, National Science Foundation, and the Smithsonian Institute for funding for this research. At this time, are there any questions?